Keep on wild, mentally of life. He's fucking mad.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Hi guys, well, I thought it was a bit about time really that I gave you a review of eFootball 2025, and right away, right here you can see they've got this old rigmarole of having to go through and unlock all these things, and you've got to press buttons and go to certain menus, then you've got to receive the mail, then you've got to download the mail, so you get it in your inbox, you receive it and open it, and all this sort of stuff, and it's trying to make you think you're getting lots of good stuff, and all you're doing is going around and around in circles, because within 5 minutes of this game, and they just carry over the same teams and everything you've unlocked on the previous iterations of the game, you've got your squad. You don't really need to do that much, and it is a bit of a faff. It doesn't look any better than it ever used to in terms of menus, but the gameplay is really, really good for this. So I'm going to jump in for the gameplay and show you what it's all about. But you know, if you're familiar with eFootball, you know about the menus. You know that they'll try and give you super duper people. Like here, they're offering up these guys of 93. So I'm going to pay up with that token. I'm going to get someone good. No, I'm not. I'm going to get someone naff, because that's the way it rolls, isn't it? I get someone who's very, very mediocre, and they just go into the bin with all the rest of them, and I'll keep my good team. So that's typically the way that this game works. Let me just show you another unlock that I did. So here's another example. I saw a Brazilian kind of promotion. So I'm going to get one of these guys. I'm just going to get in and go for Brazil. You have a look in a sec. Thinking 140 credits I got, which took me forever. And I'm going to go in and try and get some now. So this section here I was looking at, yeah, all right, okay. I'm not sure about that. Let's go and have a look and see if we can get these Brazilian guys. And in typical eFootball way, they stitch you up, but then you get really good stuff for free. So it kind of takes away the kind of feeling of achievement. There's no Master League anymore. That's gone a few years ago. I would pay 20, 30 quid for Master League. So here we are, look, going to Brazil, get one of these guys. There we go. We got Zico, we got Romario. Danielson's there. 100 euros or 100 quid. I'm going to spend that on that right away. 100 coins. And what have we got? Yeah, you guessed it. Is it any of those guys? No, it's McAllister, and he's not even a Brazilian. That guy to me is an Argentinian or an Argentine, depending on what you call him. He's from Argentina, basically. Great footballer. But I wanted someone from Brazil, which is why I clicked on Brazil. They give me someone different. Anyway, let's get to the football itself, because it is a free game. Is it great? Let's just find out right now.
If you're on the right side of it all.
This looks well and truly sewn up already, Peter, but please feel free to forget what I've just said if there's a spectacular turnaround.
Here we go, guys. We're online, and I'm on my way through a match. I'm in the yellows here, and the gameplay is really good. There's no lag. I've got good broadband. There's no lag. It's intuitive. It hasn't really changed much over the years, really. It's probably much the same as it's been for the last couple of years. But the gameplay is really, really good. There's a lot of variety in the way goals can be scored. And also, it does suit defending teams. In other words, it's not impossible to take the ball off your opponent. Whereas, I know in FIFA sometimes you play and the guys sort of do rainbow flicks and keep you ups all the way down the pitch. And those guys are so good, you just can't get the ball off them. And also they do those goals where you just sling it across the box, and they call it sweaty. It gets infuriating. You play against the same guys playing in the same way, and if you don't play as frequently as those guys who don't want to play in that manner, you get whipped. Whereas in Pro Evo, as I like to call it, the gameplay is quality, but as mentioned, there's no meaningful sort of offline mode. There is now a league mode which you can play offline, and you take your team that you've created in here into an offline mode. So I'm doing that at the moment with taking them into the Scottish League actually. So you rebrand them as St Johnston or whatever, and then on you go. So that's a bit of fun, but you don't get the full Master League experience, which was absolutely compelling back when it first appeared on the PlayStation 1 and the real quality Pro Evolution Soccer games started coming out on the PS2. Pro Evolution 2 was absolutely amazing back in the day, and it was the Master League that really created that. And playing offline game modes were brilliant. You can play offline one-on-one matches here, but you can't set up offline tournaments with local sort of matches against friends and stuff like that. Those kind of days are gone, and you've got to be looking at more retro games, maybe looking at retro consoles or retro games to find things like Super Arcade Football, which is like the modern day equivalent of Sensible Soccer, or try and just find some older versions of Pro Evolution or even FIFA. But you're not going to get it here. But as you can hopefully see, gameplay is nice and fluid. It's great fun to play, and it's not too frustrating when you go online. A couple of things they have got rid of are the auto subs, so you can't press a button to then bring up like auto subs are there, suggested subs. So I set this up so it automatically makes substitutions for me. But what it won't do is nice go from matey. It won't allow you to press the shoulder buttons, which you could a couple of iterations ago, and then it would give you suggested players and you could switch them over. So what I tend to do playing this game is my reserves aren't too overpowered in particular positions, because what I want to do is have it so that it's set up for auto substitutes. If I have really good fullbacks and defenders and I put my substitutions on for early, then what happens is the AI on here tends to bring on defenders and stuff, and I always like to have attackers coming on. So that's the way I roll in this game. I'll sort of load my bench up accordingly that I can strengthen my attacking options, and it will do that for me automatically, because I hate having to pause games. This guy here I'm playing against, absolute star, because I went 3 up, he didn't log off, he's got auto subs on, he's been really competitive in the second half, so I did whip him in the first half, and it's just nice to, on occasion, to go up against someone who plays the game well. Now, on Efootball 2025, they still allow you to pause the game mid-match, which I hate. I don't see why they can't allow the computer to run your team for you on a sort of pro mode, level of difficulty if you like, and just pause, and then you could do your tactics on the fly, as they say, and you wouldn't have to worry about making any pausing the game. The game could run quite quickly then, as you would want it to do. But no, they allow people to pause the game a lot, and that frustrates me. You wouldn't be able to pause in a first-person shooter or in a racing game online, but they allow you to do that here. So substitution here, the guy that's coming off is now tired out, and that's the one thing that Pro Evolution do better than FIFA is players can tire more quickly. The one thing they don't do anymore, I think, is they don't have the up down arrows for the condition of the player before the match, and they used to do that, which was great because it meant you would have to rotate your squad a little bit to bring the players on form onto the pitch, and that would allow a bit more variety rather than just selecting the same mode team for every match. The other thing that Pro Evo don't do very well at all is goalkeeper jerseys. They don't even think about those. So I was playing against Dundee United, who play in orange, and my goalkeeper rocks out with an orange shirt on, and they've always cocked this up and never, you know, they spend millions and millions trying to make a kind of realistic simulation come arcade view of this game, which is football or soccer if you are so inclined, and they never quite nail all the different bits and pieces properly, and then when they do get it right, they let themselves down with game modes. I know they like the purchase options and make good money the way that they've got their business structure set up for the game, but let me spend 30, even 40 quid and have a good Master League and a good offline management mode, and I would spend my money as quick as you can blink, because I prefer this game to FIFA. It is undoubtedly a quality football game. It's free. It's running here on the PS4. You can run it on the PS5, it will look even better. It's a top-notch game, and it's now got a lot of branding as well, so it's really worked its way forward. It's no longer all just called North England Whites and North London Whites and all that sort of stuff. It's all good, so loads to recommend in this game, and you can't help but recommend it if it's free.
Well, that was a shimmering, sizzling,
So just showing you a
scintillating
couple of
game.
goals
The key
here on the
characters
highlights, just to
led
show
us
that I did
well,
actually win the game,
did what
though
they
you only
did
saw the other
when
team score.
required so to do. There could
And
be
it
only
was
one
really
outcome.
enjoyable. I've had a couple of games. Don't go to this all the time. My favourite game of the moment for football is actually called Football Glory and Tactics, which is a turn-based, almost like a chess game of football, and it looks like a kind of board game, and that to me is wonderful at the moment. You don't have to update it each season, but it's not an actual playing football game. But for actually playing the game, this is quality. You cannot knock Pro Evolution or eFootball, as I like to call it. The goalkeepers, though, I will say, I don't know if in the update, the goalkeepers do seem a little bit weaker on these kind of cross shots, and I did score a few goals easily today, like there. Maybe that's something they've adjusted, and I remember back in the day playing this and sometimes playing offline and going for like 3 or 4 games without scoring, and it would be 0-0 frequently, and I loved that. That's a kind of reality to that. I'm a Torquay United fan. Sometimes you go seasons without seeing goals, you know, so certainly in the right end anyway. But in this game, I've seen you get loads of goals, not as many as in FIFA. That's the only criticism I would have. Other than that, great game. Just, I was going to say buy it, but it's free, so just download it, make the best out of it. Pro Evolution or eFootball 2025 is an iteration of the old one. If you like the last game, you'll like this. It's not really much different, if any, and we've still got to put up with those horrendous menus which bug us all to death. So there you go, folks. Catch you guys on the Football Schmootball flip side. Please like and subscribe and come back with any comments. Thank you.
I couldn't have said it better myself.